So that same friend who asked me to make a video showing what I shoot on vacation asked me to make another one, but he requested some rifles this time. So, of course, I went ahead and brought out some more handguns. Don't worry, I'll make a rifle video in a little bit, but I decided to bring out a couple of the handguns that didn't quite make it into the last video. I'm up in Michigan on vacation again, and I brought a couple of different guns with me this time, and a few of the same ones, so I figured I'd just shoot some of the ones that didn't make it into the last video, and we'll enjoy shooting it. So just to give you a rundown what we're going to shoot today. So I've got this guy here, which is a Glock 42 in 380 ACP. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 27 in 38 and 357 Magnum. And then this one we've seen before. It was chambered in 9mm when I shot it down in New Mexico, but I threw a 357 SIG barrel in it now. So 357 SIG's kind of an interesting cartridge. There you go. You can see it's got this neck. It's actually a 40 case, but with a 9mm bullet in it. And it was designed to replicate the power of the 357 Magnum in an auto-loading pistol. So kind of an interesting round. It had about 10 years of really good popularity, and it's kind of dying out now, but I still really enjoy it. It's a really fun shooter. So I took my competition pistol here and put the 357 SIG barrel in it. Then this one is a Glock Model 40, which is chambered in 10mm, but the neat thing about 10mm is the 40 cal can also be fired in it. So you'll notice on the left is a 40 and on the right is a 10mm, and there's just a little bit of difference in the length. Now I have a 40 cal barrel for it, but I'm going to be shooting the 40 cal straight through the 10mm barrel, and that's fine. It's just like shooting 38 and 357 in this guy here. The bullet diameters are the same, and the length is negligible. It's not quite as accurate because the bullet is set back from the rifling a little bit, but it still works just fine. And then this guy here is a Glock 21 upper, which I'm going to put on the frame here. So this one's in 45 caliber, so we'll go from 40 to 10mm up to 45 all on that same frame. And then the last one here is a 44 Magnum. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 629, stainless steel version of the classic 29, and another fun one to shoot, but we've got a couple of different loads. I've got 44 Special as well as 2 different loads of 44 Magnum. So that's what we're going to be shooting today. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started off with the Glock 42 in 380 ACP. So I'm shooting at about 10 yards. Again, these are 8-inch plates that I'm shooting at. The yellow plate is a 6-inch, the gray plate is a 4-inch plate. The spinner off to the side is 22 only, so I won't be shooting that one right now. And I just realized I'm not wearing hearing protection or eye protection, so let's fix that real quick. Let's go ahead and get started with the Glock 42. This is a Glock in 380 ACP. It's the smallest Glock frame that they make. Rather tiny. It's a little bit larger than a Ruger LCP, so it fits my hand a little bit better. I don't really like the Ruger LCP, it's too small. But this is a nice small package, and you still get all of the features and styles of the Glock if you like that sort of a thing. So let's see if we can put some shots on target with it. I haven't shot this one in a while. Having trouble ejecting those casings, probably because I haven't used it in a bit, so it's a little bit tight. But so these are 8-inch plates at 10 yards. Again, not terribly difficult to hit them, especially with a little 380. Yeah, it's having trouble today. Load up another magazine real quick and see if we can run 5 shots through there without any hang-ups. Usually Glocks are known for their reliability, and that's what I found to be true unless I start messing with it. If I switch out the barrels or do something to change it from the factory configuration, I oftentimes will bring in some malfunctions, but usually a stock Glock won't fail no matter what you feed it. Maybe those were reloads. These are factory PPU 380s. Let's see if it works any better with those guys. There we go. So maybe it was just my ammo. Right? But 6 for 6, not too bad out of a little Glock 42 and 380 ACP. So next up, we're going to move up quite a bit. So this is a Smith & Wesson N frame, 38 357 Magnum. This is a 27-3, so I think it was made in the 80s. So it's not quite as refined as the older 27 that I have, but it still works pretty well. I shot a 38 357 in the last video, so I won't shoot too much with this one. We'll just do one set of 38s and one set of 357 Magnums. But, okay. So 38 special. This guy's got the nice big target grips. Let's see if we can hit the 4-inch plate with this guy. Oh, I missed him. I think that's 6. Yep, that's 6. So nice target sights, target grip, target trigger. It's got the whole works. So it's a very nice smooth one to shoot. I really enjoy that guy. Let's see how he handles the 357 Magnums. So the nice thing about this one, the N frame is the larger frame, which was actually designed for 44 Magnum, and then they chambered it into the 357 Magnum as well, but it just gives you a little bit more heft in the frame, makes it a little bit easier to control. I think I got the clip on that one. Let me see if I can get that 4-inch plate with this guy. There it is. Spun him right around. Alrighty, one more. Alright. So yeah, a little bit more power in those 357 Magnums than the 38s, but still very controllable with a nice large N frame. So, very good. I'm going to walk down and reset some of those targets so that they're not clanging together, and I'll be right back with you. So up next we have 357 SIG out of this PF940CL, an 80% Glock frame. So it's the compact frame, longer slide, and then I put a 6-inch barrel. So this is actually my 357 SIG barrel for my Glock 24, which has a 6-inch barrel length. So it sticks out quite a bit, makes it look really nice and long. But let's see if we can hit anything with 357 SIG. Alright, the flies out here are terrible today. Okie dokie. Stop knocking that one around. Run plates, and again it's kind of replicating the power of the 357 Magnum but in an auto-loading pistol, and because you've got the recoil of the slide, the spring system absorbing some of that recoil, it doesn't feel quite as sharp as the 357 Magnum in the revolver. So I really like that one. You know, it's not quite as snappy as a 40. 40's kind of, you know, they hit pretty hard compared to a 9mm. 9mm are much softer, and the 357 SIG is really something that's right in between those two. So you get more energy than a 40, but it feels more like a 9. So I really enjoy shooting that one. That's 357 SIG. So the Glock 31, 32, 33 would be the normal ones chambered in 357 SIG. Alright, so moving up. Next we've got this guy. So this is a Glock Model 40. I'm going to start it with just 40 caliber ammo. Goodness sakes, I got like 15 rounds in there. Let's take out a few of those. We don't need to waste all those. I'll just shoot 5. I'll just shoot 5 in there. I'm taking one too many out. Alright, we'll shoot 5 or 6 in there. Just to show you that you can in fact shoot 40 caliber ammo in a 10mm firearm. It's not necessarily ideal, and really the 40 is just a crippled 10mm round. So if you can shoot the full 10mm, by all means do, But if you're looking for something a little bit less expensive, 40 still works. Doesn't work quite as well, but let's see here. So it works really well out of the 10mm Glock, and because the 10mm slide is a little bit heavier, the grip is a little bit larger, if you need a bigger gun to handle that 40, it's a good way to shoot the 40. I might use that one in competition someday because it shoots really smooth. Let's go ahead and move up to a 10mm, and I just remembered I've got this nice holster on my hip that fits this gun, so we'll get them loaded up. And we'll go ahead and stick that guy in the holster, and we'll shoot a few from the holster. I'm going to set those up again. Alright, I reset the targets and I took out the 6-inch plate just because I need a little bit more room for the 8-inch plates so that they're not just immediately running into each other. But let's see how a 10mm Glock Model 40 will do in some 8-inch plates. We're at 10-12 yards just about. I made a mark for 10, I don't know where it is anymore. But 10-12 yards, let's see if we can hit anything from the holster. Took a little bit of time to get on the sights there. Now 10mm is a very interesting cartridge. It's much more powerful than the 40, and in fact more powerful than a 45, particularly in the loading that I have. But again, with this size of a firearm, with the spring tightness the way that it is, it really doesn't feel too bad. Bounce around steel plates pretty much all day long. I've got 2 shots left. Let's see if I can hit that 4-inch. Swinging a little bit, so this will be a challenge. There it is. Okay. So, you know, at 10 yards, again, not a great feat of accuracy, but the fact that I can pick off a 4-inch plate fairly easily with that nice 10mm, you know, I really like that one. Glock came out with this a few years ago. I thought that I wanted it because the Glock 24, which was also a 6-inch, was my favorite at the time. And so when they came out with another 6-inch, they had the 5 1/4 Glock 34, Glock 35s, but they hadn't come out with another 6-inch. So when I saw that they had come out with this one, I kind of wanted it without knowing whether I wanted it or not. And I went into a gun range and they had one up on their rental rack, and so I rented it. Put 1 box of ammo through it and was just like, I have got to have one of those. So that one is really sweet. 10mm Glock Model 40. Really enjoy shooting that one. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put on the same frame as that guy the 21 upper. So this is a Glock 21 upper. Oops. There it goes. Alright. And we'll put a few rounds of 45 ACP through that one. Again, I'm going to go wiggle those targets around, get them set back up. Alright, so Glock 21, 45 ACP. Again, shooting at about 10 yards, 12 yards now. I just walked it out, so it's about 12 yards against those 8-inch plates. I doubt that I'll be able to get the 4-inch with the 45. I'm not quite as good with this one, but we'll give it a go. Let's see. I'm actually going to work right to left on the 8-inch plates, and then we'll come back for the 4-inch. See if I can hit it. Yeah, helps to load it first. Check your work. Check your work. Always check your work. All right. Not too bad. Let's see if we can get that 4. There it is. Yep, going a little bit high with that one. So a couple rounds left. Let's hit those 8-inchers again. Oof. Jerked that one in the middle there. So that's 45 caliber Glock 21. All right, we're up to the big boy. So this is a Smith & Wesson model 629, so the 6 is the stainless, the 29 is the classic model. It's in 44 Magnum, which means you can also shoot 44 Special. So I'm going to put 2 of the 44 specials in, followed by 2 of what I would call a standard 44 Magnum. So that's a 240 grain 44 Magnum. And then I have these a little bit heftier, they're 300 grain 44 Magnums. They pack quite a punch. And so we'll go through all of those. You guys are probably disappointed that I'm only putting 6 rounds through this thing, but 44 Magnum is expensive. Getting a phone call. Hey there.
Hey, we would like to venture.
Okay.
Possible?
Yes, let me unload it. Okie dokie. So back to our Model 629. So Model 629, we're going to do 2 44 specials, 2 44 Magnums, and then 2 300 grain 44 Magnums, which, oh boy, I just hope I still have targets that I can hit with those. So the 44 specials, you know, they're nothing special. So it's a 44 caliber bullet, but it's moving fairly slow. And so out of a nice big heavy frame 6-inch barrel, and they feel like nothing. They're very nice, very tender. The 44 Magnums, they're a little bit more hot. That last one smacked my hand a little bit. So here come the 300 grain. So these are probably the only rounds that I shoot on a regular basis where I say, yeah, that kind of hurts a little bit. Now it's no 500 Magnum, but it is a pretty punchy round. Ow, yeah. It just smacks that revolver back into the web of your hand. And it just stings, just that little bit. So maybe with some different grips I'd be able to manage those ones. These are kind of some slim wood grips, but yeah, 300 grain 44 Magnums. Oof, I will not shoot a steady diet of those. 44 specials are fun to shoot out of there though, and the normal 44 Magnums, not too bad out of a large frame like that. Anyway, so there's a couple of other guns that I haven't shown before. Just having fun out at the range. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm just a guy having fun out at the range.